Welcome. This is Melinda Barlow CZT, Certified Zen Tangle Teacher. And today's lesson is Flair by Deb Myers CZT. And she calls it Flair, and it's a takeoff of Shattuck. And as I was doing it, it's a great tangle. It just shows how you can take one of the standard tangles that are put out by zentangle.com and make it your own. And we're gonna do Flair, and I think you're gonna find it a fabulous tangle. So let's get started.
This is Flair by Deb Myers. And you can see that there's a slight Shattuck look. Here it's done on a little bookmark, and here again with just a little different look. So we'll start. I'm going to use a gray tile. You can now get these gray tiles on at my store, Inkidoodles.com. And we're just going to start directly with our pen. And I'm using the Apprentice pen. It's got a little different tip, but I like it. It draws smooth. And this one must be out of ink. I picked up the wrong one. There we go. So I'm just putting 2 lines in, and I'm going to do a zigzag line down through my 2 lines. And it's important that we kind of make our lines go. I don't want to start in this corner and come to the top. I'm going to start in this corner, and I'm just going to come out to that zigzag line. And I think this tangle is really completely different than Shattuck. But Shattuck, you do have a line in the center, but now we're going to do a little scallop for Flair. And I just did a little scallop, and now I'll fill in, and I like to do this right away. I don't want to come back and do it. I feel that filling this in as you go is more satisfying. Okay, and now I'm going to come from this corner up to here. So I always want to go to the zigzag line I made, not to the outside line. Mine has a little curve to it. I am echoing that shape of that zigzag line. And again, I'm going to come and make my little scallops or rounded lines, and then fill in. And I love the name that Deb has named it, Flair. It does have a little flair to it. So again, I'm going to come over here, and I'm going to come to that line that's in the zigzag. This will help you always keep it straight. Then fill in. And here again, I'm going to come to this zigzag line. And I always turn my tile to make it at the best fit for me to draw. The most comfortable position for me to draw. And then I have one more that I'm going to do, and this is the zigzag line. Start at that center point and work my way up. This line didn't come quite all the way, so we'll extend it. And now fill in. Now I've got a little empty space here. I could come back here and just make this one come to that original zigzag line, so I don't have something that's just kind of hanging off in the edge there. I can fill it in so it looks like it's meant to be. And there we have Flair. Beautiful tangle. Easy to do. Not many steps. Can be done as a border or fill in. We could do another one, a line here and another line here, and make our zigzag line. And again, put Flair in so you can see how it can be a fill-in in any shape, or it could be a border tangle. We just want to remember that we always make the lines towards that zigzag line. They don't go to the outside edge. And that will keep a consistent, neat look to Flair. So Deb was thinking Shattuck. I'm glad she named it Flair and didn't just think it was a takeoff of Shattuck. It, to me, is a beautiful tangle that in its own right. And you see I'm always going to the zigzag line. And those lines can be close together. As you can see, this one was a little further apart. And I have this little one that's kind of off to the edge. Remember, there are no mistakes in Zentangle, so you might think that's a mistake. We're just going to add it to Flair. I finished off that. Now we can add it here. We can put our zigzag line in. And always remembering that we want to go to the zigzag. And you can go ahead and do all those little lines and then come back and do your scallop. But I just like seeing my design grow as I go. Kind of finish off as I go through my design. So I like to go ahead and do my straight lines and then my scallop. And that was a little wide, so I'm going to come back and fill in on that one, because I don't really like them to be really wide. And you can make that little scallop pretty defined. So there we have, now we have this one last little line here, and we'll see what happens if we can just make it so it doesn't look like it's, we can bring it up, and there we go. Now, I did at one point came back and put a little dot in each one of these little flares just to give it some extra. I encourage you to find ways that you can embellish your little tangles. You could put a black dot, or on the gray paper you have some additional things that you can do. You can take a white jelly roll and come back and put a white dot in there instead of the black dot. So I decided I would come back on this second row and put a little white dot. You can shade with graphite. I'm going to just shade with a little graphite in the tips of here, in the bottom of each one of those little flares. I noticed I didn't do my little dots here, so let's do the little dots here so we have it finished off. And I love this pen. It is a great pen so that you don't smash the tip of your microns. It has a different fiber tip. You can also get that at my store. I call it the Pigma on your store when you're looking. So there I have it shaded with black. Now I can also come in and shade with a white pencil and give the bottom of here, instead of graphite, we can come in and give it a little light shade. That's the fun about doing on gray, is that you can really have that third element, or maybe the fourth element. You have white, gray, black. It's just really a fun way to embellish. So I'm going to go ahead and do this outside one with black. When I make those dots, I make a little circle and I try to make them a little bigger, not just a point with my pen, but I do a little round circular movement so that it makes the dot a little bit more defined. And we'll come back with our pencil, put a little graphite in here. And there you have Flair by Deb Myers. And it's a beautiful tangle, fun to do. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Shop for supplies on Inkidoodles.com, where you can get the pen, the Pigma. It's an 05 by Sakura, same great ink. You can get gray and brown tiles and bookmarks. Thanks for watching, and have a great